hey, you've seen the commercials, you only pay for what you need. And we got thinking about that at the missions meeting, that we have some needs here at First United Methodist Church. First of all, I'll introduce you. I'm Larry, and this is my little buddy Stephen, the emu. Anyways, we've decided that we want to be able to help those in need. And those in need are local, right here in our town. And this virus has really affected us in a lot of different ways. But we felt like if we could help the folks here, the younger folks that attend the preschool and the daycare and set up some scholarships, that would be a great way to help them out. Because some of these folks are out of work for a little bit, and it really creates a hardship on them. And then one of our members at the missions team meeting mentioned that the Salvation Army also helps out folks. And they actually help them pay the electrical bills. So just think about that. If you were out for a little bit and you needed some help and the Salvation Army helped you, that's just a wonderful thing. So our missions team came up and said, hey, we've got Lent coming up, starting today all the way through when Easter. And so what we'd like to do is take a little bit each day and put it in an envelope. We've got some envelopes in the church, or you can just send them to the church and just mark it Lent. So for the Lenten offering, if we could kind of think on $1 a day to go into the 6 weeks that go out, that would help a tremendous amount. And then we can get the scholarships that we need for our daycare and for our preschool, and also to the folks that need some help at the Salvation Army. And so if you can save a little bit, then we can really help out those in need. And really, little Stephen really needs your help. So he's just a little emu guy, but we love him to death. So come on out and support Lenten Offering this year, and we can get the money in the right hands to help those in need.
Well, good afternoon, Saints of First Church. Welcome to a nice brisk Wednesday afternoon.
Hump day.
Yeah, and it could be a whole lot worse. Folks up the road up in Alamance County, where my parents live, they're expecting potentially half an inch of ice. So, it could be a whole lot worse. It's going to be more rain, but at least it won't freeze. That's the good thing, I suppose.
Now that we got the weather segment out of the way.
Yeah, you got the weather segment out of the way. I want to thank Larry Lang for making the announcement about our Lenten offering. And we certainly are appreciative of the mission committee and their work going on in spite of these unusual circumstances. And these are three very worthy causes that they have picked to support. And we hope that you will join us and the missions committee in supporting these worthy causes through your giving. So thank you, Larry. Thank you, missions committee, and we look forward to having this time to serve through our gifts. Absolutely.
All right. So we first of all, tonight we're going to start our Lenten study. Embracing the uncertain. Ken's going to lead us. We got Zoom participants already signed up, and we hope that those who are coming in person will be here at 6 o'clock in Wesley Hall, and we're excited about getting that kicked off. We've got a lot going on through Lent. But first, I had several questions in the bulletin lately. I've noticed maybe you've noticed this little funny thing on the bulletin, and I guess some folks didn't know what this is. And you see stuff like this. They're called QR codes, and they're you see them on everything from cereal boxes to pamphlets and things handed out. And I just wanted to give an explanation as to what it is and why it's funny looking. What it is called a QR code, which stands for Quick Reference Code. And it's an ability that your phone has automatically. Smartphones now have an ability with their camera to just look at one of these and determine what it is, and it sends you to a website link. That's all it is. It's just a different way of doing a link to a website. So we're trying to bolster up our communication methods and here at the church, and one of the best ways we can do that is through our website. And so we may have forms in the future. We may have things that people can fill out and let us know about through our website. And you might see one of these funny pictures somewhere around. So now you know.
There we go. Absolutely. Another quick reminder, starting the 22nd, which is this coming Monday at 7 o'clock, Brother Tom Jacobs is leading a study online. This is exclusively a Zoom study on the 7 last words of Christ from the cross. If you're interested in being a part of that study, if you'll contact Janet Cooper, she'll be glad to send you a link to that Zoom Bible study. So there's a lot of studying going on, and a lot of attempted communication for sure. And speaking of communication, I think it's pretty safe to say we're living in the midst of some very unusual circumstances and interesting times. Unusual circumstances and heightened tensions have placed communications and connections between people under some pretty significant stress, even among God's folks. And with that in mind, we've got a really unique opportunity coming up to help to reinforce the ties that bind us together. Our church council is going to be sponsoring a listening session event under the leadership from some of our folks from the annual conference conflict transformation team. They're going to be holding a listening session, and during that session we hope to be able to reconnect with one another after our long COVID absence. Some of us haven't seen each other in quite a while. It's been almost a year. It seems a lot longer than that. But we're going to try to have some reconnect from that, as well as learning how to better able to connect and communicate with one another even under challenging circumstances, and dealing with some topics that are challenging as well. The session will be on Thursday, the 25th of February, beginning at 7 o'clock in the evening, run about an hour and a half, and it'll be by Zoom. The number of participants for the session is going to be limited. I think we're limiting about 15. If there's a need for subsequent sessions, we'll certainly set those up, but all of those sessions, as I say, will be held by Zoom. And if you're interested in being a part of that time of just reconnecting and learning how we can connect even in tough times and tough circumstances, then feel free to email me at my email address. It's on the front of the bulletin, khall@nccumc.org, and we will get you on the list and we'll work that out.
So, Lent is a 40-day period, if you don't know already. It's 40 days, not including Sundays.
Right.
There's 6 Sundays in Lent every year, and it doesn't include the Sundays, but it does include Monday through Saturday for 40 days. And that begins today. And so usually you're asked to pick up a discipline that you've not done before, or maybe or fast from something to take something away from your life that's hindering you back from God. So what Ken and I'd like to do over these 40 days with you is to just give you a very brief moment in the Word of God every single day. So he's going to lead some days, and I'm going to lead some days, and you'll get a brief video pop up through One Call Now, and it'll be on YouTube and it'll be on Facebook, and you'll see that. And maybe that'll help us through 40 days to stay connected to God in that way.
Exactly.
So we talk about being connected with one another, and that's certainly important, but if we're not all connected to God, then and what are we doing?
Exactly.
And so we're going to start today, since this is day one, with one of these devotions. So Ken, take it away.
Yeah, sure. We want to welcome everybody to this time of coming together as we make this Lenten journey together from the Mountain of Transfiguration all the way through to the empty tomb. And Stephen, as he's told us earlier, we're going to be sharing this time with you each day during the Lenten season to help you and help ourselves as we grow deeper in our walk with the Master. The text we're looking at today is Mark 9, 2-13, and that's the passage that we know as the passage of the Transfiguration. If you were at church on Sunday, you heard me preach on this text, and this is where Jesus has taken Peter, James, and John to the top of a mountain, not for a sightseeing trip, but it's a time of deep spiritual reflection for them. The text tells us as they're with Jesus, all of a sudden he's transfigured. His clothes are dazzlingly bright, and Moses and Elijah, representing law and prophet, the forerunners of the Messiah, appear alongside of him. And good old Peter, like most of us, he decides he's going to speak up. He wants to freeze things just like they are. And that's when God's glory descends, and we hear God saying, "This is my son, my chosen. You need to listen to him." And then as quickly as it happens, it's all over again. And they have to come back down off the mountain. And as they make their way down that mountaintop, something very interesting happens. Jesus has a request of them. He says, "Don't tell anybody about this until after I have risen from the dead." And I know what you're thinking out there. All of God's folks are going to do what? I mean, if you had seen that event, think about this. If you had seen that, wouldn't you want to tell everybody you know? And wouldn't the telling and the sharing of that event cause more people to want to be interested in following Jesus? I mean, why in the world wouldn't you tell everybody? Well, think about this. Maybe the reason for keeping quiet is pretty simple. Jesus' transfiguration provided these disciples with an opportunity to refocus their lives. And it also provided them with something that was absolutely essential for their discipleship and for your discipleship and mine. And that is, he invited them to watch. To watch. They were not yet ready to share this story because they had not seen the whole story. They had yet to see Jesus' passion and his resurrection. And I think that's an important thing for us to think about in this Lenten season, don't you, Stephen? I mean, Jesus wants us to spend our time watching as well, to be intentional about discerning God's will for our lives. We live in a pretty fast-paced world, and patience and watching are not considered to be very valuable commodities. Speed is the coin of our realm, I think. And yet for so many of us, watching is the one element that is really missing in our lives. And it's something that prevents us from growing deeper in our faith. So during this Lenten season, we want to invite you to not run ahead and don't lag behind. Listen up, pay attention, watch. Allow God's Holy Spirit to work within you and to reveal to you the things that you need in order for your life to be transformed, and to allow the Spirit to encourage and affirm you as you can receive that even from the most unsuspecting of sources, as God often shares with us in that way. We invite you now to bow your heads and let's have a quick prayer together. God, help us to walk in your path and follow your lead. Teach us not to rush ahead of you and not to lag behind. Teach us to watch. Amen.
So we'll have a brief devotion kind of like this every day, so look for it, and we're going to try to keep it to 2 or 3 minutes, but you know, that's just a target for us, because we're preachers. We like to talk with our claim.
That's right. Don't give a message.
So we have to put a limit on it somehow. So you're not going to get a full sermon every single day, but just something brief, just to keep us connected to God and connected in the Word, so we can watch and see what Jesus has for us this season.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, have a great week.
Indeed.
Rest of the week. We'll see most of you hopefully tonight, and if not, then we'll see you on Sunday.
Absolutely. God bless you.